This is a busy week. I don't know if it's because it's coming off of Lamb. I mean, it's busy. And that Hill Day visit. Guess you can't really start early.
Go ahead, call the monthly Board of Education meeting to order. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion?
Sharon makes a motion. Do I have a second? Darren second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0, motion carries. Citizens' participation in statements.
The district has not received any requests for citizens' participation per board policy BDDH.
Written communications.
The district has not received any written communications as well.
Military update.
Good evening. I am Megan O'Donohue from Fort Leonard Wood. For our topic today, I just wanted to remind everybody that September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It is a good time to make a connection. It's a really simple way to look out for one another, and it's also a good time to think about those things that we do to take care of ourselves. We are building resilient families and resilient communities, and there are many, many resources on and off the installation for those who are looking for them. Our teachers, our counselors, our family, our friends, and our chaplains, just to name a few. Our military family life consultants are available to meet with military children and families to discuss self-esteem issues, relationships at home, issues with school or behavioral issues, and changes such as deployment, reunions, divorces, and grief. And if you need more information, you can call the Army Community Services at 573-596-0212. Just remember that you are not alone. A couple of upcoming events to help make those connections. On the September 22nd, Bruce Clark Library will have a halfling celebration for all things Tolkien. We'll have books and movies, and feel free to come in costumes. This is absolutely no cost event. And also on the 29th at Bruce Clark Library is our September Book Brigade. This is a book club designed to allow those to choose their own titles. Every month we have a prompt, and September's prompt is a book set during a holiday. And that is also a no-cost event. That is all I have. Like I said earlier, please remember you are never alone. Pending any questions, Army Strong, go Tigers.
Any comments or questions? Thank you. District announcements.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, we would like to recognize the Alternative School. They are with us tonight. I want to thank you for all you do for our 7th through 12th grade students, and I look forward to hearing more about the work you're doing on the Spotlight in Education. Homecoming is going to be Friday, September 30th, and we invite the community to participate with us. We will dismiss early on September 30th so that students and their families can participate in the homecoming activities, which include the parade at 2:30 p.m., Chamber of Commerce's Community Pride Night at 4:30, homecoming coronation at 6:30 p.m., and the football game at 7 p.m. And for those of you that are attending the parade and have small children, you may want to bring a bag with you to collect all the candy that is likely to be thrown your way. Businesses who wish to sponsor a float or have their windows entered into the Homecoming Business Window Decoration Contest should contact Tricia Foster at tfoster@waynesville.k12.mo.us, or if you call the high school office, they'll be able to connect you with Mrs. Foster. Our culinary arts students are going to participate in Hogs and Frogs Cooking Contest on Sunday, September 25th in the Waynesville City Park. Gates will open at 11 o'clock a.m. Just a reminder that there'll be no school on Friday, October 7th for students because it is Teacher in Service Day. And please mark your calendars for our upcoming Tiger Festival of Nations. This will be held on Friday, October 14th, just outside the entrance to Tiger Stadium, beginning at 5 p.m. We invite the community to come out and take a trip around the world with us. Stadium gates will open 30 minutes early at 5:30 p.m. on October 14th because we will recognize our AP students who earned 3 or better on their AP exams prior to the football game, where the students will receive a total of more than $13,000 for their score. It will be senior night as well, and so we look forward to the kickoff at 7 p.m. on Friday, October 14th. I also want to take a moment to thank our community for passing the tax levy in April of 2017 that kept our district eligible for our B2 heavily impacted aid. Those funds have gone toward our new construction and remodeling at Waynesville Middle School, help fund renovations at Parker Educational Center, and will be used to match the FEMA grant for a FEMA shelter that will be going up at Freedom Elementary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. A motion to approve consent agenda items A through H.
Motion?
Mr. Brown makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Fulmer, second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0, motion carries. Spotlight on Education, Ms. Mitchell.
Okay, thank you so much for having us tonight. We are here to recognize a certified and classified staff member. First, I would like to recognize Mrs. Amber York Barber as our certified spotlight. She's done a lot of work for our alternative education program already. Mrs. York has been a tremendous asset, and her willingness to do whatever it takes to help make the team be successful is noticed every day. At any time, you can step into her room and see how engaged the kids are when she's instructing or working one-on-one with students. Throughout the day, when students need help, Mrs. York does not hesitate to have them come over and receive additional instruction. A colleague stated, "Miss York is a fantastic teacher who works remarkably hard. She's detail-oriented, yet always has time for her students. She's an excellent colleague, and I enjoy working with her. Mrs. York is a credit to our program and our district." And another colleague has said, "It's early in the school year, and I've only worked with her for a short time, but her attention to detail, getting kids engaged in math, and watching her build relationships with our kids has been awesome to watch and made for a great start to the 22-23 school year." So thank you to Mrs. Amber York Barber. Okay, next, for our classified spotlight, we'd like to recognize Mr. Henry Atkinson. He's a para at the alternative school. Mr. A, as we call him, could not be in attendance tonight due to needing to be present to help others away from work. And this just speaks very much to who he is as a person. He's always willing to help and truly wants all around him to be successful. A colleague said, "Mr. A is always pleasant to everyone and very helpful to students and teachers. He's a master of trivia and always has a great quote for any situation. He does a great job escorting students wherever they need to go. I appreciate Mr. A every day," as we all do. So even though he's not here, a round of applause for Mr. A. Thank you. And then finally, for our PLC spotlight, I'd like to recognize my whole team. This includes Amber York Barber, Chris Kramer, Carrie Botts, Angela Witt, Dagmar Lambert, Kim Barr, Lisa Sprouse, Andrea Adkins, Henry Atkinson, and recently Daniel Albrecht. Every week we sit down together and discuss our perimeter healthcare, ASP, and alternative students as a group to develop plans for success for each student. We monitor their behavior, attendance, and academic progress and create goals for our students to work towards joining the regular education population. They all focus on building positive relationships with each of our students to understand what each individual needs and how to make them more successful. I'm very proud to work with all of them daily, so thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you.
again. Community recognition, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. This month, the district would like to recognize Cricket Wireless of St. Robert as our community recognition. Cricket Wireless of St. Robert donated 50 headphones and several packs of glue sticks. Both of these items are in high demand at the elementary schools, and this donation will help students complete their work.
Thank you again to Cricket Wireless for your donation. Appreciate it. Move to discussion item, construction project update, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. Get this to work. Maybe.
I bet you miss Jeremy right now.
All right, this first picture here of the storage building, as you can see, the garage doors have been put in. All the brick has been finished up on the outside, and they're continuing doing some more dirt work. As you walk into the inside, the first picture, as you walk in the front door, you can kind of see, as you're going down the hallway, there's offices and bathrooms along the side, as well as the second picture is the storage, one of the storage areas up top where food servers will be at. They've got sheetrock loaded up there and insulation that they're getting rolling on. As you look down from the upper view, you can see they've got sheetrock insulation going in. The second picture is what the wellness center looks like from the inside. They've got that sheetrock and taped, and they're getting second coat of mud on that as well. Moving to transportation. This is the outside, kind of the entrances where the public would come in the front door. You can see they got all the windows in. As you come around to the side, the second door there is kind of the entrance where the employees would come into the office area. They got the garage doors up as well. As that first door you can kind of see open there is going into where the wash bay side is and the additional new part that was added on the far end. The first picture there, that is what the wash bay looks like. It's got the drain there, so whenever it does get washed underneath the engine and stuff, it goes down there and drains out. As well as the second picture is what the dispatch office looks like with the window coming in. That'll be the kind of the first office you come in there as the front of the door. And you got additional offices there, as well as the wall that's going across there on the other side of that is where the part room and a lot of the other supplies that they have will be on that side of the wash bay. And coming into the WCCs, we're going to finish up. This is what it kind of looks like. As if you remember when you beforehand you came in, you kind of had the signage and words up on there. And that's kind of where they've redone that entrance there, coming into the office area. As you walk in, that would be both of where the secretary's office sits as you walk into the front of that office as well. And then going down, you'll see this first picture. There's the doors on the side where the kids coming from the high school. So that's where that secured vestibule that they'll be able to come in there, as well as the front. That's the vestibule up there we put in for security purposes. With everybody will come through there as a safety precaution. And lastly, these pictures, the first one there that is where the culinary arts, that's where the door will go into the freezer. If you remember, we had to go outside to then get in the freezer. This is where they can now access this from the inside. And the second picture is storage, additional storage that they gained from that area as well. The first picture is the teacher work area, as the second one is kind of a conference area. As you come in at the beginning of the office, when you first walk in, you have the secretaries. This is to the right of that, so there's kind of a meeting room there for their staff to have. And lastly, this is the beginning of the FEMA shelter. As this picture got done, they had just kind of put all the stakes out and everything, and they were starting to mobilize and get everything there this week. Is there any questions you have?
Comments or questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Cobb. Facilities and grounds update, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. That worked this time. All right. Here's the high school. As you can see, it was built in 2003. Some of the upgrades that we've had recently was security cameras in 2022, as well as the additional of the softball field this year. And last year we did do football and redid the track as well. On the Career Center, as we just talked about, this is kind of the updates that are going on there. We're looking for this to hopefully be pretty well wrapped up by close to the end of this month. Right now, we're just kind of holding out on the freezer to come in. As the middle school, as we completed phase 2 in 2021, there's kind of some updated pictures of the first picture. There's kind of stairs coming up as you get to the inside and kind of what that new building looked like, as well as they got upgraded cameras as well in 2022. Sixth grade center, again, they're one who got upgrades as well for cameras, as well as they've got their HVAC looked at as well, adjusted and fixed, so that was running correctly. East Elementary, as you can see, they got new roof going on. They got security camera updates, as well as we got some bathrooms retiled outside the office area that were really needing attention. Freedom Elementary, they also got security videos updated in 2022, as well as we got all the floors repainted and finished up throughout, as well as the FEMA shelter is beginning right now. Wood Elementary, they got security camera updates, as well as they got new office flooring within their office and the front entrance there as well. Partridge Elementary was the same, as they got security cameras updated, as well as they got new carpeting within their office as well. Therrell Elementary, they got security camera updated, as well as they got a new makerspace back outside their library for those kids in robotics and things to work on. Williams Early Childhood as well, they got new upgrades to cameras throughout their building as well. Looking at administration building as well, as they got new security updates. We got additional key fob doors on the outside of the door for staff to get in. And maintenance food service, their upgrades are going on right now as we're building the new storage facilities. That'll give us to be able to get a lot of the food service items out of maintenance, allow them to get their storage back that's much needed. Going on transportation, as they're finishing up, you can kind of see I went through those pictures, so I didn't want to throw a bunch of new pictures up, but that's kind of what the outside look's going to look like in the floor plan, so you can kind of see how that is. Sports complexes, they have not had additional work done to them. There are some plans for their facilities out there in the long-range plan that we should be coming up here in the next year or two. At the end, Slaughter Field and Tiger Stadium, as we have looked at, we've got new turf and track. You can see the difference in the two fields at the high school, as well as a softball field. And we have some additional things that are looking at going down the concessions, bathroom areas down at Slaughter Field that the WCC is going to be working on very soon. Questions on that?
All right, thank you, Dr. Cobb. Enrollment update, Ms. Bells.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. This chart that is posted right now depicts district enrollment over the past 5 years. To begin this year, you can see the 2022-2023 enrollment in between the red and the gray line. We started this year with 5,797 students, which is a little less than we started last year, but higher than where we ended last year. Next slide, please. This is an overview of impact aid eligible students over the past 5 years. Data for this school year is not yet available. However, we will update the board once this data is available. And then lastly, this is the enrollment comparison by building. The district has seen a slight increase in enrollment at East, Freedom, Partridge, and the high school, and a slight decrease at Thayer, the 6th grade center, and Waynesville Middle School. The greatest decrease is noted at Wood Elementary. However, I just want to remind the board and the public that we did some redistricting of streets on Post, and so that is the explanation for the major decrease at Wood Elementary. And that concludes this year's enrollment update. However, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions? Thank you, Ms. Bells.
Thank you.
Curriculum documents, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. High school curriculum documents are presented as a first reading. These documents were developed jointly by the high school teachers and the Instructional Services Department and will be brought for approval at our regular October board meeting. We have our career embedded courses, fine arts courses, foreign language, physical education, and practical arts.
Comments or questions? All right, thank you, Dr. Atkins. Policy update and procedures, Ms. Bells, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Attached for the board's review and consideration are the following policies and procedure updates: GBAD telework, GBAD AP1 procedure, GCPB resignation of professional staff members. The above policies and procedures have been through the TABS Committee for review and revisions. Any comments or suggestions will be accepted between now and the October regular board meeting, when they will be resubmitted for board action and adoption.
Any comments or questions? Proposed job description, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following attached proposed job description is presented for your review as a first reading. 4.08.1, Executive Secretary to the Superintendent. Administration will request approval at the regular October meeting of the Board of Education.
Thank you. Move to action items, curriculum documents, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Middle school curriculum documents are presented for approval. These were developed jointly between the Waynesville Middle School teachers and the Instructional Services Department, and these were brought as a first reading at our regular meeting in August, and no questions were received. And these are for band, choir, ELA, health, and physical education. Administration requests approval as presented.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I would make that motion.
Mr. Round makes a motion. Do I have a second? During second, all in favor, show of hands. 5-0, motion carries. Transportation route approval, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration looking for a motion to approve the transportation routes for FY23.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Torm makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sarn second, all in favor, show of hands. 5-0, motion carries. SOP Tier 2 sponsorship, Mrs. Bells.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration recommends a $5,000 contribution to continue our status as a Tier 2 sponsor for the Sustainable Ozark Partnership.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Morale makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Farmer, second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0 motion carries. Land purchase proposal, Dr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration looks for a motion to approve the land purchase of 3 lots at the Ridge Point subdivision in the amount of $48,000.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor? 5-0 motion carries. Career letter approval, Dr. Goforth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration requests the approval of the career ladder plan as presented and waiving first reading. This will allow eligible staff to earn an additional $3,000 this school year.
Any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Morale makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
During second, all in favor, show of hands. 5-0 motion carries. Closed session, closed record, closed vote is allowed by RSMO 610.021, Section 3, hiring, firing, discipline, or promotion of employees, Section 6, scholastic probation, expulsion, or graduation of an identifiable individual, Section 13, individual personnel records, performance ratings, and Section 14. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
So moved.
Dr. Farmer makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, we are in closed.
Pleasure. Okay.
Will do.